World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development is celebrated on the 4th of March of every year as a UNESCO International Day of Celebration of Engineers and Engineering, and Nigeria engineers are not taking the back seat in this celebration. The Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria is one of the few engineering groups taking this seriously and also making the engineering profession attractive to young girls. This can be seen in their nationwide STEM program, Inventive Build It program, She Engineer program, and many others, where they try to encourage the girl child to pick up engineering as a career. The results so far speak volume of the impact already made with these programs. This is what these women have to say.
Human capacity development, if it's a very wide range thing, because there are different things that we do. Some people go in for what we call the normal education routes, primary, secondary, university, and then post qualification training, on the job training. For some people it's vocational training, and for some it's entrepreneurship and all this. But human capacity development is what improves you from where you are to be able to assist you to do your job better, to be able to assist you to improve your personal prosperity. It also is a way of getting the whole system also up to date, because again, like I mentioned earlier, there's the on-the-job training, the continuous professional development. All of these things are what make us able to do our job better and to able to deliver on our promises. So that's what human capacity development entails. In our government here, we have taken a very, very proactive step in developing human capacity in Ogun State. Education institutions are perhaps not where they should be, and His Excellency has declared a state of emergency on education to be able to focus a lot of energy on that. We're looking at the teachers, we're looking at the infrastructure in the schools, and also the curricula of the students to make them appropriate for the 21st century. Essentially what we have now is we have league tables in the schools where we measure the examination results at the end of SS3, and we have seen that over the last few years there have been in some sectors, in some areas, deterioration in the results. In some it goes up and down, and we have to look at what has caused that. So this is one of the areas that we're looking at to monitor through league tables. We're also looking at it vis-a-vis employability of indigents here in Ogun State. We have a job portal where we've brought people on board to be able to enumerate them and know how many people are looking for employment. And from this, we are able to see the skill gaps that we have, where we have employers who say they require certain skills, and registered youth who are unemployed or underemployed may not necessarily have the skills that the employers are looking for. So this is how you can now say these are the sectors we have to address to be able to bridge that gap.
We discovered that for the young girls, menstrual hygiene management is very difficult for them in schools, resulting in some of them dropping out of school. So we are intensifying action in menstrual hygiene management to make sure that the girl child education is preserved. And the success we've made is that the economy will improve, but most importantly, fewer people will die. Children, and even adults die from diarrhea. So fewer people will die, which means the economy improves. And another thing we have to look at is to make sure, that we improve our data management.
The Bank of Industry is quite active in this. and we actually have a fund that deals with solar at the micro enterprise level. So that's just one of the things we have done by way of intervention for micro enterprise, for people at the bottom of the pyramid, where they're able to access this source of power. So that speaks specifically to infrastructure and innovation, but specifically to target 9.3, which talks about financial inclusion for small enterprise. This is definitely an area that BOI has worked very, very deliberately on.
Goal number 7 talks about affordable and clean energy, and under it has about 5 targets. One of them is increasing substantially the renewable energy mix. It also talks about improving energy efficiency. It talks about access to clean and affordable energy, and I think lastly, creating an enabling environment for international cooperation to be able to have improvement in renewable energy plans for global effect. In Nigeria, a lot of effort has been put into place. We have a lot of policy framework that have been looked into, approved by government. We have the National Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency Policy. We also have other approved policies like the NEC, that is the National Energy Regulatory Commission, approving the cost-reflective tariff for those who want to go into the renewable energy system with mini grids.
The hunger index, to me, the way I interpret it is that Nigeria can only provide food for 27.9% of its population. This is not good enough. It means that our agricultural production is below standard or inadequate to meet the demand of the populace. Therefore means that we have to have another system. We have to have a paradigm shift to look at how to solve this inadequate or insecure food for the country. In looking at it, I will want us to have a paradigm shift and re-examine the 3 M's, or the 3 factors of productivity: man, materials, and money. Man, we need to look at the issue of production. What do we use to produce food for us? It might interest you to know that in 1960, the average farmer's age was like 50, 60, thereabout. Not many people were farming even at that time. And the size of farm at that time was about 6 to 7 acres of land with poor implements to use. We need to move away from that now. We have to address that issue. Encourage more young ones to come and farm, even if it's the 6 to 7 acres of land, with the use of good implements that can give us increased yield. Today, all the younger ones have gone to the cities to look for a job, but then the farm is still there, degrading, low in fertility, productivity poor from that, and lack of farm hands to produce on the farm. Let's look at our machine. What are the machines needed for Nigeria? We need to address the issue of adequate and suitable machine or appropriate machine to meet the size of land that we have. Not many people have access to 50 acres of land. The average that any Nigerian farmer, serious Nigerian farmer, local serious Nigerian farmer can have is about 7 to 10 acres of land. So let's develop machines that will fit into that, so that productivity of those who are farming will be high, and they will have a higher income, and thereby we encourage them to farm more.
We are building the capacity of our young engineers because they are the future leaders that we have. So we want to make sure that they are of high standard, because if you are going to sponsor someone for a leadership position, we want to ensure that the person has the capacity to perform in that role and that she's not just there to fill up a quota. So we have the town and gown mentoring and capacity building program for our young engineers to help them develop skill sets that will make them effective future leaders.
When we're talking about one or two specific actions being taken to attain the goal, Lamata is in the business of expanding mass transportation. We are currently working on 2 additional BRT lines that will be open, at least the Abulegba Oshodi BRT should be open come the end of 2nd quarter, beginning of 3rd quarter. Also, we are starting to implement, or we're completing the implementation of the red and the blue line railway lines. The red line will go from Agbado to Oyingbo, and Oyingbo will be connected to Oyingbo bus terminal so that people will have complete and seamless transportation all the way from Agbado to Marina. All of these mass transportation initiatives, when they start to operate, they will cater for all facets of society, with particular attention to women, school children, and persons with disability. We expect that all of our stations will have elevators going up so that persons with disability will be able to access the platforms, and the access onto the train is flush with the platform level so that persons with disability will not have any challenges getting onto our trains. The same thing goes for our buses. Our buses have access for persons with disability on them, especially the new ones that we're rolling out. So from Lagos's perspective, and in terms of mass transportation, those are the first key things we're doing.
Over the years, it has recognized that there are gaps in data collected, so it's difficult to measure the exact progress scientifically. However, on the face of it, you can see that there's been progress. There are more women in management positions, in governance, in political positions, and in board positions. We need to encourage younger women to do STEM, to do engineering, to do technical subjects, so that we can have more female engineers in the profession. We need to encourage those who are already in practice not to leave even when they are married and going and raising children. We need to find ways to encourage them to stay in the profession. Engineering is a very, very fulfilling profession, and the more women we have, the better. A woman's point of view, the way a woman will see a problem is different from the way a man will see a problem. Therefore, if you have women in engineering, in management positions, in governance, in politics, the way they address problems, their points of view will have an impact on women's lives and will make the world a better place.
As these women engineers join the rest of the world in celebrating engineers and engineering, to them, it is not just celebration, it's indeed a wake-up call for more action.
The Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria, APWEN, was formed in 1982 by 6 outstanding female engineers. Since its inception in 1982, the association has had 15 past presidents.